I think that's the start of the player's confidence. It's like let's get the parents to understand the formula and the environment to groom a more confident player, but more importantly, human being. All right, coaches, this is what we got to expect from you to conduct this environment to bloom this type of flower. So, like, let's get your opinion, like what that environment looks like. So, the player is right here in the middle. We're talking to the parents over here, and we're talking to the coaches next over here. What are we talking to the players about? What are we talking to the parents about? What are we talking to the coaches about?
Yeah, I think if I had to simplify it in a nutshell, those it's really laying out the clear guidelines of expectations and communication. Like, how are we going to communicate? Most coaches quit because of the parents, not the players.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
there has to be a clear understanding of how we're going to communicate and what the objective is. Okay. So if I come into a situation where I'm a parent and I like that chaos, I like a coach that's cussing my kid out, that's pushing them, and what I'm saying, like I want that circuit AAU environment
Hmm.
that I want to be around, and I'm willing to. That's their idea. Well, if it's not clearly communicated by the coach, this is our objective this season. My objective is we want to be competitive. We're gonna practice more than we play. So we gonna really focus in on development, and I'm really trying to build life skills in them. That's a noble thing and idea, but if it's not clearly communicated, you get what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing. I don't want to say this. We should tell each person this. I think starting with the coach, this is the expectation of the players. This is what I'm looking for very clearly, and that might be individual. Like, here's the role I'm looking for, and then a communication to the parents of like, hey, this is how we're gonna communicate, and this is what you can expect out of me. So that coach really plays that role of being the CEO and the leader as well. I think it has to come from the coach, those expectations, and then how we're going to communicate.
You ever stepped on the court and it's almost like you forget how to hoop? Like you were just killing it to practice before, but then the game time hits and warms you a little less confident, little not feeling as much. But then the game hits. It's almost like somebody took your controller and they unplugged it and it just turned it off. It's not working anymore. So now game time coming, you start pump faking on wide open shots, and on the fast break you're hesitating. And by the end of the game, the coach is like, "Who is this kid? Why are they on my team? How did they get on my team? I don't recognize this player anymore." It's almost like that Space Jam scene when the NBA players got their talent stolen by the aliens, and they start looking around like, "Where am I? What is going on with me?"
Come on, we're okay. We're okay. You're all right. Come on, let's go.
Come on, Patrick, it's showtime.
And I get it. I feel you. Confidence is a really tricky thing. It's weird. But I got some good news for you right here. You don't have to hope to feel confident every game because I made something special just for you. I have a pregame and a postgame checklist for your confidence. All right. It's the things you can do before you step on the court to make sure that you feel confident and to bounce back after the game to make sure that you're always improving and building your game. So hit the link below and it'll be sent straight to you guys. And it's going to help you out so you don't feel like that 2K player that's just glitching in the middle of the game anymore.
And his name is John Cena.
All right, so it's gonna have you get back to feeling like yourself and playing like you never have before. So go ahead and hit the description below and lock in with us and get your confidence rebuilt. Hmm. So if you were, let's take it with your kids. So
Mhm.
you're putting your kid into this, league of whatever age they're in or whatever. Your first talk is going to be with the coach about, hey, my son and daughter wants to play. What type of coaching are you going to be doing? That's your first conversation. You're going to talk to the coach first, right?
Yeah, I think for me, well, first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask around. Your
Hmm.
reputation precedes you. It's not that hard, especially in like Louisville. I know everybody's in the basketball world, their reputation. So you just need to ask a few parents of what was your experience like. Just do a little bit of due diligence in your own research. and then just go to the coach and just ask him, what is your philosophy? Like, what is your objective right here? What are you doing? Um,
Mm.
and I can't speak for everyone else, but I feel like I have a pretty good discernment on character when I speak to someone. So I'm kind of looking for that as well. I think resume goes into that. You're wanting to look at kind of what they did and what their resume is. And then I'm really big on, like, I want to know what your philosophy is. You know what I mean? Like, how you gonna get this kid better, and what you're gonna really emphasize on. Is some are just like, we just gonna play the best competition. I want to put them out there, throw them in a Shark Tank, and that's cool. If that's I just want to clearly know what your expectations are. So that's probably how I would approach it as a parent.
Mm. So now let's go flip side. It's your team, and now you have to address the parents. How are you handling that?
Yeah, if it was me personally, I would say, hey, I really want to emphasize development and confidence with these kids. So we're not going to do a whole lot of traveling. Let's just put it like that. We're not going to do a whole lot of traveling. We're going to really emphasize on keeping them here, and we're going to try to get in around 3 practices and skill development a week.
Mm.
And then, we're going to play our weekend games, but we're going to play local tournaments. I don't want to put them in over their head. And you know what? We're going to do, I'm going to disciple them, man. So we're going to do little Bible studies together. We're going to do confidence workshops together. And I just want to have an open line of communication with you as a parent. So if you give me feedback, it helps me to know where your child's at. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna be unfair to any of the kids. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to really grow and flourish. So I think that would be mine. Is like, emphasize, this is what we're gonna do: confidence and development.
Mm.
I'm not worried about if we win a bunch of tournaments. If we win them, great. If we don't, we don't. But I'm not going to emphasize on we going here to this name brand shoe company tournament or whatever. And you can have that, but I think it's just great if you emphasize, like, hey, this is the level I think these kids are at right now.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get the highest ROI for your time, money, energy that you're pouring into this spring or summer or whatever? I think it would be if we can get them from here to here, and here is my development plan. Here's my plan. We're going to have 2 practices for every 1 game. It's clear. We're going to have 2 practices for every 1 game, or 2 skill development sessions for every 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm going to try to use a high rotation. I'm not going to leave 6 players into the game. I'm actually going to use, so that's personally how I would handle it, is just make it very clear. I want to get everybody in, but not everybody's going to play the same amount of time. But I'm going to give every kid a shot to prove themselves. And regardless of how much they play or don't play, I'm going to develop them. I'm going to invest in them. I'm going to develop them. I'm going to pray over them. I'm going to try to build their confidence to whatever level they're at. So we started at A, and maybe we can move to D or C. You know what I mean? We just work at different levels. So that's personally what I would do as a coach.
Mm. I like that. So let's say your kid comes home and they're like, hey, it's not that the coach is being disrespectful, but they just don't instill the confidence in them. Or one of your players are coming to you during the session like, hey, man, my coach is, I'm not playing a whole lot, and it's kind of in fact impacting my confidence. I don't feel like they trust me, and when I do get in the game, I mess up more because I'm not feeling confident, so I'm going to get pulled right back out. How do you help them kind of get out of that funk of, being in our rut, not feeling confident, to get back to being themselves? What are you going to tell that player?
Yeah, 2 things. Number 1 is go to your coach, look them in the eye, and ask them how I can help the team, not how I can get more playing time or more shots. Don't make it a selfish conversation. Make it a team conversation. How can I fill a row that helps the team? If you want a bigger row, dominate the row you're in now. Give me a row, clearly define it. Let me dominate that row so I gain your trust, and then I get a bigger row.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. Most players, they struggle and they create a narrative where they're the victim. And the coach doesn't have time. The parent only thinks about the child and then the team. The kid only thinks about himself and nobody else. The coach, as a default, has to think about the team.
Mm-hmm.
I have to think about all these individuals, and I'm juggling personalities, parents, politics. It's a lot. So if you go quiet and dark on me, you actually make it really easy for me to push you down to the end of the bench. Don't be that kid. Go to your coach, look him in the eye. Hey, I'm struggling. Because you might see a totally different side than what the coach sees, and vice versa. So now there's an open line of communication. Me as a coach, if a kid comes to me and says, how can I help the team? And I see the kid do number 2, put in more work. Show up earlier, stay later. Work on the things that I asked you. If I see a kid do those 2 things, they communicate with me of how they can help the team, and I see them putting in work even when they're struggling, guess who's the first kid I want to give a shot to when there's an open opportunity? That kid. But it's hard to be a hero when you have a victim's mentality. Hard to be the hero in your story when you're a victim. You know, my coach hates me. My coach sucks. My coach doesn't know anything. Like, go talk to him, man. Do the basic stuff that I can't even get college players to do. I can't even get college players to do that. I talk to college players. Man, I know the coach hating on me. Coach is trying to manage a whole college program and feed his family, bro. He ain't worried about you or how many shots you got or didn't got. Like, go to him and ask him how I can help the team. And then put your head down and work. Point blank.